The Vault, and that's Bank of America Stadium. Oh, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport. Folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Alongside Charles as they interplay here. They come in playing pretty well, 6-3 in their last 9 games. On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, they come in playing well on both sides of the ball. Winners of 6 of their last 8 games.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
He's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
That's good.
Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. In college, if you're going to throw the football for triple option, you've actually called that play.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored. You give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
4 yards.
Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. They'll roll him out right. And he's going to keep it here. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Now whistles here, and it looks like we've got a Panther that's having some difficulty down there getting up. We'll check on his status when we get back. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
56, Mike, 56, right there.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. His throw caught at about the 5. And the Panthers are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt.
And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. A great effort there with touchdown number 12 on the year. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories. And you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do. And when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there. That nice opening drive because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
This will make it into the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They will be led out by the Heisman Trophy winner from 2018 from Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield.
But when I reviewed last week's game and saw the 4 touchdown passes that he threw, I thought about you during the Turkey Bowl last year.
Yeah,
you guys
right.
had the same stats, except he got the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award with his.
He got touchdowns, I got picks. I like going back watching the film with you, and we thought it was a good performance in person, obviously was, but you thought even better on tape. It was really something to watch.
Yeah, but I love was how he spread it around. A lot of people involved in the passing offense. 4 touchdown passes culminated it.
The numbers on the ground for Carson last week. 19 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown.
They've won 2 straight games, and they've done it with the running game as the focal point of their offense. So in this contest, I don't think about doing anything else. I continue to ride the hot hand that I've established and lead with the runners.
And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A gain there of 21 yards.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. It's a room to maneuver. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 16 yards, a 1st down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
They'll run on 1st down. Carson into the secondary again. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Chris Carson with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying up this football game.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their 2nd drive, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the table and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
2nd and 8.
They're going to look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 3 catches now this afternoon, the same number he had all of last week. Also, it's a first down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked up by Levante David. And it's a pick six. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six.
Tampa Bay.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Panthers take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they gave up the pick six, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
And he stopped immediately there.
Ball carrier.
Tackle there by Alex Anzalone.
On the tackle.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
A 1-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 8.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Wide open receiver complete. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
That's a play that'll likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score.
Panthers 7.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Panthers are now an extra point away from tying up this game. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their 2nd drive. And, you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division. He's got a man, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one good for 37 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Mayfield to throw it. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. Throwing again, Mayfield on 2nd and 10. Throw left side, complete. That's Alexander. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
And again, it's Mayfield. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown.
To number 13.
Mike Evans, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bucs are going to take the lead. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Taking it about the 1. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Panthers take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. We have witnessed touchdowns on back-to-back drives. We'll see if the offense can continue this uptick here.
And I know you're looking at me funny. You're wondering when I'm going to get upset watching these guys go up and down field, aren't you?
I wasn't looking at you. I got something in my eye.
That's the excuse that you always use for something like that. Listen, I appreciate good offensive football as much as the next person. When it's played well and is skillful, I'm with it. And right now, this is exciting.
Oh, the defender likes it. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Alex Anzalone. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack. And it's a fumble.
The pass.
In perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 21 yards there, a big play on 4th down.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the 1st down.
Now a handoff looking right. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
He'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 30. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And they give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line.
At the 28-yard line.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And the Panthers are going to have a 1st and goal forthcoming as he takes this down to about the 5-yard line.
A
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in? Instead, look at a little more of a scat back type, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they went with the elusive, slippery guy. Couldn't get in there, though. The offense on 3rd down, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. They're looking at and he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Panthers are now an extra point away from tying up this game. He's got it, and we're all tied at 21. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The attention shifting back to Chris Godwin and the rest of the Tampa offense. And CD, assuming he stays healthy, assuming the health, should get to that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily.
And the best part of what he's done so far is allows him and the team to relax their pursuit a little bit. Meaning, if they just have normal games, they'll get to the 1,000-yard mark. They don't have to force anything. But one of the reasons he's having the year he's having is what I call route-running arrogance. They think there's no one that can cover them. No matter how many people are put in his direction, it just doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat them. And so far this year, he's done exactly that.
He sure has.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
But they're certainly not neglecting their run duties as well as they ate up the blockers in front and allowed the secondary to get home.
On 2nd down now, it's Carson, and he takes it.
It's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The Carolina offense about ready to go. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now, defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done.
And the ball is knocked out, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well, so now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback, but not him.
You're exactly right, because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic. But downfield, in open space, that's dangerous as well, because you may make someone miss, and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 17 yards on the play and a Buccaneer first down.
Buccaneers.
Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And it's 3rd down.
3rd and short yardage. Mayfield. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
So a good kick there. They put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow.
Either way.
Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he's going to have a 1st down, and they get into field goal range here at the 29. Another 1st down there as this one goes for 25. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
Thrown away and incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
But now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive, 4 plays. And Carolina scores to cap it off.
24.
So just 8 kicks remaining here in the first half as they'll kick this one away. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? And the half will begin with a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They'll get only 3 there, so it leaves them with a 3rd and 7 ahead. On 3rd down, Mayfield. He finds Howard complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So here are the Panthers set to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And this is going to be a Panthers 1st down as he's got this up to about the 34-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
On play action, they'll throw. He'll buy some time right. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The safety, Carl Joseph, there to knock that one away.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. The gun. They'll look to throw. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. These defenses have become so opportunistic, and no matter what you're playing, in this case wide receiver, you got to be careful.
You certainly do, because there is a phrase in today's football that we use all the time, completing the process of the catch. Well, it's after you do that where the trouble begins, right? Meaning you've tucked it away, you're trying to get downfield, but someone's always coming up.
To 2nd and
10. They run it with Carson. And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a 1st down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up 4th. A 3rd down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's always difficult, isn't it? Because